Thank you for staying with your world on NTV this morning. It's time to shift gears a bit and talk about money, the things that matter. And of course, if you remember, we've been battling COVID-19 for more than a year now. And of course, it has affected literally every part of the economy. Many businesses have been closed and many people have lost their jobs. But that impact has been disproportionate because for those who had some little bit of savings, every time you lose your job, you are a bit covered. But for those who did not have any savings in the bank or anywhere, it was even worse for them. And that's what we want to talk about this morning, the importance of savings and wealth creation. And who better to talk to us about savings and wealth creation than someone who is actively involved in saving. Samuel Kimani Kamaru is the head of marketing at Tower Sacco. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Let me start here. Even before we start talk about what you guys do. I mean, the biggest misconception with saving is that we think it's for rich people. I have to earn a lot to be able to save. Let's just start there. Okay.
I'll start with the notion that we grew up with, whereby we were taught that saving is whatever remains after expenditure, but in real sense, nothing remains. So savings, to me, should be a predetermined amount from the income. Once your check comes in, or once you receive your income, then definitely you can predetermine what you'll be taking for savings. So with as low as 500 shillings in a month, one can be able to save. So let's move away from that notion that it is what remains after expenditure, because actually the expenditure is high. But once we predetermine that this is what I'll be saving, every time my income checks in, I'm able now to put something for my savings.
You said 500 bob?
As little as 500 shillings.
And this is at Tower Sacco?
This is at Tower Sacco, whereby we take as low as 500 shillings in a month.
That means it's not about what you really earn, it's about what you save.
It's about what you save.
Okay.
It's about what you save. And especially for the small businesses, we have a strategy to do collections every day. And I can tell you somebody gives up to 50 shillings in a day. So once you make your first few sales in the morning, our guys pass around and you're able now to deposit as little as 50 shillings. So if you look at 50 shillings in a day, the impact is that within a month, you are 1,000 plus. And really, to us, that is a saving and an investment.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe let's now go back to where we should have started. Talk to us about Tower Sacco, what you do, and the brilliant job that you do with helping people save and inspiring a saving culture in this country.
Tower Sacco started way back in 1976 as the Nyandarua Teachers Sacco. By then, we had a membership of 125 teachers who came together to form the Sacco with a deposit of a total of 90,000. That is a very humble beginning for Tower Sacco. Then over time, it has grown because in 2010, we released the common bond. Now it became a Sacco for everybody to join. So people from the teaching fraternity, people from the civil service, anybody in government, anybody in parastatals, farmers, people in business, all of them are invited to come and save with Tower Sacco.
And that is important because sometimes we think Sacco is for someone who's salaried because it can be checked off every end of the month. But if that leaves out people who are in business, who are farmers and all that.
Exactly. That has been the thought. But as Tower Sacco have said, we've opened for everybody. Even for farmers. Anybody who has income, as little as it is, you can be able to have a start in saving in Tower Sacco. So right now I can say the society has grown. We have a membership of over 156,000.
Wow. From how many you began with?
125. From
Wonderful.
125 to 100.
And 90 now.
And 156,000.
Okay.
Now, from a deposit of 90,000, right now our asset base is at 14 billion. So
Wonderful.
it is a circle that has grown over time, of course, due to proper management and seeing business beyond the horizon. So that is the society. We basically started in Nyandarua, so most of our branches are in Nyandarua. But today I can talk about being present in 7 counties.
Wonderful.
Starting all the way from Mararal, then you come to Laikipia. Actually, we are doing our youngest branch in Nanyuki, but in Laikipia we have 3. Nakuru, there are 3 branches. Come to Nairobi, we are represented at Kariobangi North, that is where we are situated. Narok and Kilifi County. So we are still moving, we are still growing.
Do you have a specific target audience that you target? Maybe farmers, maybe young people, maybe salaried people?
As I've said, we are open to everybody. Anybody who feels that they want to save, those are our members. So, and as I said, we start by savings and then credit. So once you start saving, we take it as an investment. Because remember our topic as we are talking, it's about wealth creation. And wealth creation has to start somewhere. We have 3 aspects. Number 1, there has to be income. Yeah? In as little as it is.
There should be something to save.
There should be something to save. And you should predetermine that this is what I will be saving for my future. Then once you start saving, because I said that is a journey, once there is an income, then you can be able to start saving. Now, when you start saving with Tower Circle, this is the advantage, because we take your saving as an investment. At the end of the year, we pay what we call rebates or interest on your savings.
Okay.
In 2020, we paid at 13%. This year, February, again, we paid at 13%. So in as much as you've deposited that 50 shillings, it starts earning for you.
13% is way above the market average.
Yes, it's way above the market average, but you know, it depends again with the performance of the institution. Our biggest asset is 13.5, that is the loan book. And you can be able to imagine with such a loan book, you can be able to make money. You can be able again to look on your costs so that at least you have something to give back to the society. So it is not purely business, but it is what are we able to give back to the society. Okay.
So if I've been saving, let's say, 5,000 shillings a month, by the end of the year, it should be 60,000 shillings.
Yes.
I'll be earning rebates from this because the SACCO is investing my money?
Yes.
Okay. And that's where the rate is at 13%.
That's where the rate is at 13%. So we have to ensure that, and this is why we're encouraging people to save. Because remember, once you've saved, we take it as an investment. Then that investment starts earning. And once it starts earning, that is what we call wealth creation. You've started a journey to create wealth. Then the other aspect, once you're doing wealth creation, is investment. And that's why I'm saying ours is twofold. You are saving and at the same time investing. Now, investments depend with, they depend with the kind of risk appetite that one has and the kind of project that you want to be involved in.
Okay.
So that's why we are encouraging and saying, when you save, that coin starts earning. So it is an investment to you. There are people who are very good savers. We call them super savers. They started saving very early. Especially, I have an example of one teacher, and this should be, it's quite encouraging and challenging to me as well.
Yeah.
A teacher started saving 20 shillings. That was way back in her early years of teaching. She could even borrow and invest that money in savings. Today, after retirement, she's really enjoying some very good benefits. Somebody being paid to the tune of 8 million a year. I don't think there is any other job that she would like to do, because now she had planned for this. Now, we have a very good roadmap when we come to talk about savings, and we are telling people, do savings per year. Grow your deposits. Every time you have a coin, every time you have an extra coin, ensure that.
And maybe right there, because for most people it's a challenge. I mean, the money is very little. Do I spend and then save, or do I save and then spend?
It depends with where you put your priority. And the notion that we have as Kenyans, because we've grown from a society whereby we were taught, and it was fixed in our minds, that in order for you to save, you must have spent. And this is the reverse that I'm calling for. Whatever little you get, save something for tomorrow.
And then
save fast, then spend. If you look at what happened last year, anybody who had their savings, they were able to go for them and opened a small business. So because most of the guys lost their jobs, others actually had to lose income. So for somebody who had some fallback plan, they were able to open some very small scale businesses. I could see people changing their vehicles into small shops, whereby they could even sell vegetables, because they had something to fall back into.
And part of the challenge with starting a business and obtaining credit sometimes is the lack of collateral. But from this arrangement, I believe once I save the 60,000 that I saved annually, it doesn't just give me the rebate, it sort of acts as a security in a way for my next loan.
Yeah, basically what happens is, as I said, you start with savings, then definitely at some point you'd like to invest. And you'd like to invest in several projects as a human being. Your deposits is part of the security. Because what happens, we give it a multiplier factor. If you have your 60,000, we give you a multiplier of 3, depending with the purpose. That's already 180. Depending with the purpose, we give it a multiplier of 4, a multiplier of 5. It gives you access to credit because it acts as your security. Most of the people, what I've seen, since they don't want to engage in the process of security perfection, you realize that they want to use their savings as their security. And they're able to borrow against what they've saved. So it also has another advantage.
So how beautiful can that be? I mean, I contribute money, I get paid or I get returns for the same money, and also becomes my collateral. It's like killing two, 3 birds with one stone.
Yeah, it actually is, because we find that most of the young and upcoming businesses, most of the startups, they don't have what we call tangible collateral. So we've also, as part of our strategy, developed a way to ensure that if you don't have those collaterals, depending with the amount of money that you're looking for, because to be sincere, small businesses don't go looking for huge amounts of money. They want what we call capital financing. So if you have your collateral as your savings, you can be able to lend against that. And again, there is the issue of guarantors, whereby you can have friends who can actually guarantee you, because they've also have their money in the same circle. That is our circle. So they have their funds there. They've been saving with us. So why not get a friend or two to guarantee you, and from there you're able to pick up.
Okay.
Yes.
If my total savings are 60,000, how much maximum can I get as a loan?
We'll give you a multiplier depending with the purpose of the facility. Because again, by the time you're coming to borrow, you have to think of what you're going to do with the money. Most of the time, people borrow for consumables. They end up in financial slavery. Other people borrow for some income-generating projects. So depending with your project and with your 60,000, if we give it a multiplier of 3, you can actually be able to get up to 180,000 maximum.
Okay, and of course we want you to be part of this conversation. What is that thing that is stopping you from saving? What is your savings story? Do you have a question for our expert in studio on how you can go around saving, the issues of the returns, the issue of the interest rates? And I think we actually have one, because someone is asking the issue of when I cannot repay, and the issue of debt collectors, because most people, I think, are afraid people storming my house and all that. Just briefly talk to us about that. I want to be very clear that when one comes for borrowing,
We normally do a proper appraisal, and we do not use projected income. So whatever we are going to lend is actually with the current income. That is one advantage. Now, the other advantage, when you join Tower Sacco, you become a member. So if it reaches a point and you feel that you are not able to raise that monthly payment, then we can have a sitting and we can negotiate even before we do the collections, and we sent guys to bring a lot of kills, embarrassment. You see, it also gives us a negative reputation.
And the beauty about that is because you have some savings with the SACCO as well.
You have some savings with the SACCO. You have guarantors within the SACCO. So many times you have to come, sit down, negotiate, see what we can do for you. At many times we have sorted most of our members, especially with COVID, where it was not foreseen before. So we've been able to manage the situation, and our members are now, I can say they are now comfortable with what we did. Okay,
let's talk about the interest rates issue here, because I mean, for many businesses, the bigger problem is access to credit. And the reason why that's a problem is the issue of collateral and their credit worthiness. Most people deem them as not so stable enough to repay, to repay the loans, and thus they are charged an interest rate that is too high to compensate for the risk. How do you, what are the rates like?
Now, if you look at our market rates in the country, you realize that they range from between 10 to 14. Now, most of our products are priced at 1% per month, which tallies to around 12% per annum. And you can imagine when I'm doing loans at 12%, then on this other hand, I'm also paying rebates at 13%. So you can see there's also a window whereby I'm also giving back to the member.
Okay.
Yes.
So that sort of in a way, because the other issue is the issue of predictability of interest rates, and SACCOs have been known very well to provide that predictability. It's not like in other institutions where the rate kind of fluctuates.
Okay, at our SACCO, once we give you with a certain rate, depending with how the market behaves, you'll pay using that rate. Okay. Till the end of the facility. Okay. So maybe if there's going to be some other rates upcoming, it will be for the new loans. Okay. Yes.
And on this issue of wealth creation, there are those of us who have just been speaking about the small borrowers, the smaller income earners, and there are those who actually have some good amount of money and they want to invest it, they want returns from their money, and they do not want to be something that is engaging like a business. So what facility do we have for people who have resources that can be used by the SACCO and do not necessarily want to perhaps put it in business or something? They just want their money to sit down and...
Yeah, we have a fixed deposit account whereby our members are able to come and fix their money for a period of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or even 1 year, depending with the purpose. And of course, once you fixed these funds, definitely they're also going to give you returns. So with as low as 20,000 shillings, one can be able to fix their funds for the periods that I've said or the terms that I've said, and they are going to give you returns as well, because if you look at, we have also to be competitive. So between 4 to 10 or 11% is quite competitive returns. So we also call upon people to come and use this particular product because it gives you returns at a faster rate. Because if you want to start a project in the next 6 months, so why don't you fix the money with us at Tower Sacco? And after that 6 months, you get your money back plus some income. Okay. Yes.
But Sam, we still have a problem. This group called Millennials, they're not so good with saving. They think saving is for old people. And they are the, you only live once type.
Yes. We have an issue with the Millennials. That is a fact. And if you look at it keenly, this is the new upcoming workforce in the country. And word needs to be told. They need a lot of training, especially when one gets employed. How I would wish that we would have training programs, financial training programs for the upcoming workforce, because they want to believe, since they've started getting money, they want to buy their own vehicle the next day. They want to live in their own houses.
Apartment the next day.
The next day. So we need to let them understand that wealth creation is a journey. It is not something that comes within a day. And it starts with putting the little amount you have in a saving account.
Okay. And part of that problem is because sometimes they view the process as a bit cumbersome, going to the building, coming with some papers and signing stuff. And these are people who are tech savvy, they're always on the phone. Are we looking at a situation where we should have more products that are a bit more appealing to young people, maybe saving on your phone and borrowing on your phone?
No, we actually have those products.
Oh.
They are already in place. You can be able to open an account online. You just download our forms and send to us, which is very easy for most of the young people. And this is even what is being done by diaspora members, Kenyans living abroad. They're able to do that. Secondly, you're able to transfer funds from your M-Pesa account to your Tower Sacco account. So we also have that. We have an app to that. And recently, we upgraded our systems to accommodate more products, because we realized the need is shifting from the older generation who feel that they have to go to the bank physically to this other young generation.
They want their real money.
Yes, they want to see their real money. They want to see being served in a physical banking hall. And technology has come actually to make it easy and even to shorten our queues in the banking halls.
So are you seeing more young people taking up these things?
We are seeing more young people taking up these things, because one thing we did, most of the young people are on social media platforms. So we also moved into that space. You cannot ignore digital marketing. You cannot. So we've moved also into that space, and we are able to reach more young people. We are able even to enlighten more young people on our YouTube channels. We are able to share a few tips here and there for young people. And I would like to say this, because we've also ignored this aspect for quite some time, that immediately you start working, it means there is a letter which will come after some time to tell you now you are retiring. So retirement is inevitable. You cannot avoid it. But you can plan.
Be young forever.
Yes, you cannot be young forever. And when you are young, this is when to start preparing for retirement. It is also good to start putting something aside for your retirement. And this is where we have, at Tower Sacco, we are providing that avenue for people to be able to save for their retirement. And we are calling it a stopgap account. Because by the time you get your retirement letter and you've retired, to the time you process your dues, let's say pension and all that, income has stopped coming. To caution against that, that is what we are calling the gap. We have to stop that gap.
The stopgap
yes,
account.
It's a stopgap account. So you can be able to be saving some amount of money for your retirement. And you can only access these funds after retirement. Yeah? The beauty of it is that those funds earn, upon reaching 20,000, they start attracting an interest of 12% per annum. And that 12% is plowed back to the account. So it also encourages people to save more, because once you plow it back, then you can be able to realize again, after another year again, we are plowing it back. And upon retirement, you can be able to decide that I'll be coming for my 10,000, my 20,000 on a monthly basis. Or again, you can be able to take your money lump sum and find that your retirement has got a soft landing.
So in essence, savings is the way to go.
Savings is the way to go.
All right. And just before we wrap up the conversation, remember we asked you earlier on to be part of this conversation, ask us any question. And I think Jackie on social media is asking, the reason why some people are not joining SACCOs is, if I don't know anyone in it, how do I borrow if I don't have people who can guarantee me? And I also don't have logbooks, title deeds, or any other form of collateral.
Okay, we've been organizing forums, education forums. One, for our members to know each other. That has been the main purpose of these forums. And they are really working for us. because you not only know an individual physically, you get to interact, you get to know them better, and you get to make friends. So whenever we have these forums, that is the main purpose. We are educating members. We are giving them an opportunity to actually know one another. It also happens that if you come to us and you've been a member and you want people to guarantee you, it is also prudent to know maybe who are some of your friends that you can join with. That is number one. Or are there people who are already members and live mostly in your locality? Are there people who know you? These ones, it can be known by our credit team and the sales team, which is on the ground, that is actually handling the issue of guarantorship.
Okay, all right. So, but there are quite a number of lending institutions out there. You know, the big ones, the small ones, the ones on the Shylocks, they're the ones on mobile phones. Why should anyone consider Tower Sacco?
I will say this. They are mobile and there are so many people who want to borrow. But before you go to a financial partner, be advised by your need. What do I need? What is the purpose of these funds? So I will say in Tower Sacco we have a faster turnaround time when it comes to lending, and especially for civil servants and teachers and anybody in employment in government, it's a walk-in, walk-out thing. In fact, our members know that once they fill the application forms, they'll just walk to the branch, and after a short while, they get their money. So, number one, we have a faster turnaround time. Number two is flexibility, because I told you when we have an issue, we'll sit down with our members. So, flexibility is key. Then the third option is the issue of accessibility. You can be able to access Tower Sacco at the comfort of your house.
Okay. Sometimes they like to say making money is one thing, but creating wealth that perhaps can outlive you and provide for your generations is an entirely different thing.
Yes, it is. But remember, if you understand that it is a journey, and you discipline yourself, because it really calls for a lot of discipline, then you need also to know your priorities. Once you are clear on your priorities, you create a very clear roadmap of wealth creation. Then it starts with your savings. As you build up savings with time, remember I said it takes time and it's a journey. So then that way you can now be able to start investing.
Okay. And if I earn, you know, the 200, 300 bob that people earn as a daily wage, how do I split what goes home and what we eat today and what goes to school and now saving?
What I would say is, it depends with your priority. But if you could prioritize on saving, remember you are building your tomorrow. So it calls for sacrifice. What you sacrifice today will benefit you tomorrow.
Okay.
So once you have that in mind, then you'll know exactly that you are sacrificing this to make your tomorrow better and actually to increase on your income.
I want you to look at this camera and talk to anyone who is still thinking twice ish about saving and whether it works.
I have seen savings working for many people. And I have seen people grow from that humble beginning with their savings, and they've gotten ability to access funds. So there is no two-way about savings. It is either you save or you save. That is if you are clear about your tomorrow. And if you want to better your tomorrow, I mean, you just have to save. You just have to ensure that you save or you save.
Either save or save.
Yes.
So for anyone who's watching, what's the best time to start saving?
As early as possible.
As early as possible?
Yes.
Like now?
Like right now. Yeah.
All right. Many thanks, Samuel Kimani Kamaru is the head of marketing at Tower Sacco. He's been talking to us about savings and wealth creation. Of course, our earlier conversation was on the burden of missing children. And we have come to the end of today's program. Many thanks for you who have kept us company from 7 a.m. We have been able to sample part of the feedback that you have sent us. But for those of you who have not been sampled, of course, continue watching. We will respond to some of them on social media. But My name is Victor Kiprop, and for myself and the entire team, bye for now.